Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday, some people's favorite day of the week. And I hope you have yourself either have had or are having a nice breakfast, or at least we're having a nice cup of black coffee. I was told yesterday is the breakfast of champions. Well, I hope so, because it's my breakfast most days. Friday. It's always a more fun sense of the day on Friday, isn't there? Let's crack into today's news now. Share my screen with you. Interesting story on Property Industry Eye is that Trustpilot has issued legal proceedings against a property firm. It's a European property firm called Euro Resales. But I was interested by the statistic that almost 6% of the total reviews were detected as fakes and were removed. And it made me think, if they're detecting 6% and removing them, how many more are going past undetected? I think the trustworthiness of online reviews is a major question. But the top story I wanted to discuss today is about the regulation of property agents. So on the Negotiator website today, Nigel Lewis has done a story quoting Eddie Hooker of Hamilton Fraser, who is the operator of the property redress scheme, and therefore I think quite a credible person to ask their opinion. He thinks it's very unlikely to make it into law. And go and read the article if you want to find out why he thinks that. What I wanted to say about this was that I think the regulation of property agents, in principle, is a good thing. In theory, is a good thing. Hypothetically, is a good thing. But in practice, I don't think it would ever achieve the elimination of rogue agents as was suggested that it could. And I know personally some of the people who've done a lot of work to help bring the RoPA proposition about, but it really is in the long grass now. I don't think that's a bad thing for agents, because my view is, notwithstanding what a good idea and how well intentioned it was, I don't think it would actually have translated into making that big a difference. Is it a good thing to make all agents pass some sort of qualification? Absolutely, yes, definitely. No question about that. Does making all agents have a qualification mean that none of them are going to be rogues? Absolutely not. Okay, so you can get qualifications and still be a criminal. Okay, you can get qualifications and say, hey, look, I've got qualifications, and still break the rules. Having a formal government-backed qualification does not mean that you won't break the rules. Okay, and for that reason, there is absolutely no evidence anywhere to suggest ever that this sort of scheme helps to eliminate the rogues. It just doesn't. And in some ways, it actually makes it even easier for the rogues to pass themselves off as qualified. What it would certainly do is create quite a lot of red tape, and God knows that red tape is something that agents already suffer with enormously. But remember this, everybody, you don't have to have a government mandate in order to go and get yourself qualified. Property Mark offers fantastic agent qualifications and exams and tests, and they're free to anyone who wants to, as an individual, to go and do and to get those Property Mark qualifications. I have mixed views about the overall value of Property Mark as an organization, and insofar as how much it benefits the consumer, but I absolutely support its training operations and recommend that anyone goes and gets those qualifications. And if more people did get those qualifications, maybe there'd be less call for government-backed red tape, forcible legislation to make people get qualifications, because there are many, many agents out there who've been around for decades, who are consummate professionals who don't need a sticker like that to justify or validate their credentials. And I'm sure they would be pleased if this doesn't come into effect. So that's my view on RoPA. Good idea in principle. In practice, probably just red tape and isn't going to actually deal with eliminating any rogues. So not a bad thing that it is unlikely to make it into law, if that's the case. And if it does, if it comes along, it's not the end of the world. It's just more red tape. But in the meantime, go and get yourself qualified voluntarily anyway, is my advice. So I, as ever, have been failing to update my captions. It is Friday the 13th of May, for those of you who are superstitious. Maybe just don't go to work today if you're superstitious. Otherwise, just ignore it and crack on as normal. There's my top story headline, which I didn't put up there when I should have. But I want to come on to an unusual tip of the day. Okay, this is a tip that affects all agents, but has nothing to do with agency. Okay, my tip of the day is that you should book your tickets to see Top Gun Maverick at the cinema at the next opportunity. So I don't know if any of you are Top Gun fans or not. I was about 17, 16 years old when the first Top Gun came out, and it was a huge huge event for me back in those days. And let me just share this. So some of the reviews are fantastic. In fact, they really are. It's been called one of the greatest blockbuster movies. There we are. As thrilling as blockbusters get. So if you want to have something to look forward to, I would suggest go and book your tickets to see Top Gun Maverick. And if you are one of the, I would say, if you haven't seen the original Top Gun film, you're lucky, because you are in for such a treat. It is such a fun film. But if you have, then, and you liked it, you're going to be as excited as I am about this this new movie coming out. Who have we got saying something here? Mark Graham saying in New Zealand you do have to be qualified. Yes, I know, as you do in Australia and as you do in America. And it's not a bad thing, Mark. I'm just saying that I'm not sure that it's going to solve the problems in the UK that people think it would. But yes, chaps and ladies and gentlemen, I recommend my top tip for the day, as it's Friday. It's not actually out for another week or so, but it's going to be absolutely rammed. And if you live close to one of those IMAX cinemas, I would see it in the biggest cinema you possibly can. For those of you who don't know and haven't been following it, this is why I think it's extraordinary. All of the flight footage is real. The actual actors were in actual fighter jets with cameras pulling the maneuvers that you see. Go and see the trailer. Go and just Google Top Gun Maverick trailer. Watch the flying scenes. They are mind-blowing. And I cannot recommend highly enough that you book your tickets to go and see that film. That will be a really, really fun 2 hours. And apparently it's very emotional. Apparently you need to take a hanky. And apparently it's really true to the original story and a real continuation of the same themes of the story, even though it was 37 years ago. Oh, God. I don't want to admit how long ago that is. Or something like that, since they've made the first film. Right, guys, keep it short. It's Friday. I hope you have a fun day, because you've got to have some fun in your day. Otherwise, what's the point? Have a really fun day. Book your tickets for Top Gun Maverick. Immediately watch the original Top Gun film if you've never seen it. And have a fantastic weekend. Someone has commented on LinkedIn, but I can't see your name. It says that it looks awesome. Still love Top Gun. Oh, and another thank you. Yes, great Friday tip. I wish I could see who you are, where your comments are coming in. It's not telling me who you are, but I will go and look on LinkedIn to see who that was. Thank you for watching again. If you are watching whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook, have a fantastic Friday. I will see you on Monday morning. Have a great weekend, guys, and enjoy your breakfast. Oh, also, I've got a new thumbnail image promoting the breakfast show. I put it up on LinkedIn and on Twitter yesterday to get some feedback, and a selection of 4. And I asked people to tell me which one they thought they liked the most. And of course, there's no consensus at all. Everyone likes something different. So I don't know which one to pick. I'm going to pick the one that's my favorite. I'm going to stop rambling. I've got to stay within my 10-minute limit. Have a great weekend, guys. See you on Monday. Bye. Oh, God, this is so much better than McDonald's coffee that I've been drinking for the last few days on the road.